This year, he squatted 600 pounds, bench pressed 355, power clean 350, and also clocked in on GPS at 22.5 miles per hour. Savion Williams is the type of athlete you're trying to send over there to face the aliens, okay? Iguodala, if you know, you know. Anyway, in today's video, I'm bringing you 5, well, technically 6 of my favorite sleepers in the 2025 rookie class, with one goal in mind in today's video: to get you on board this train. Starting off with Bhayshul Tuten. Scootin' Tuten for the touchdown. Look, I'm a Virginia Cavaliers fan, born and raised. I mean, I literally attended games growing up, watching the Virginia Cavaliers get blown out by all the teams in the ACC. So I hate Virginia Tech, and I can sit here and tell you, Bhayshul Tuten, there is something special behind the curtain for this kid. First off, we're looking at a guy's 5'8", 211 pounds. I don't care about the height. 5'8" does not throw me off. 211 pounds is a good, weight, frame, if you will. He's got impressive burst, which combined with that 5'8" size, by the way, makes it almost impossible for a defensive lineman to find him. I mean, if they're getting through their block, they're like, where the hell is this kid? Super creative in the open field. When you get him into that second level of the defense, he has a real special ability to make his man miss. He has that home run hitting aspect to his game as well. He has that in his locker. His breakaway percentage up over 54%, which was 15th best in the nation. And he's genuinely, like I say this genuinely, so surprisingly good through contact. I did not expect it. I mean, I kind of looked at his profile and wrote him off before I watched his film, but after watching his film, I couldn't be more excited for him as a true deep sleeper in your rookie drafts. Yards after contact per attempt, he was 13th best in the nation, 4.4. Missed tackles forced, he was 16th best in the nation, forced 62 missed tackles. If you guys haven't heard yet, but we love our lemons to lemonade. When we're looking at a running back, right? We want to see, can that running back do more with a touch than other running backs in his class? And we created the lemons to lemonade report. You can see here, Bhayshul Tuten ranks 3rd out of 25 running backs in this class that I tracked so far at creating more per touch, missed tackles forced per attempt. All right, strip away the offensive line. Strip away the offense, the conference. Every time you get a carry, every time you get that toke, all right? And are you doing more with that opportunity than the rest of the class? And we've got a great example here of a guy like Tuten who could be a hidden gem in this class. Every opportunity, he did more with it than what you might have expected. Ashton Genty's up there at a 0.40, which is historically great missed tackles forced per attempt number. But we see Bhayshul Tuten constantly making some lemonade, all right? We see that time and time again. Overall, an extremely underrated player. I mean, if you compare him to some of the other running backs in this class, let's just compare Bhayshul Tuten's 2024 season to Quinshon Judkins, Dylan Sampson, Ollie Gordon. Let's have a look at this. So some, key metrics here, for example, yards per attempt. Quinshon Judkins, splitting a backfield. I know it was the Big Ten versus the ACC, but still, Quinshon Judkins splitting the backfield with Travion Henderson, not even getting a full workload, right? Less carries than Bhayshul Tuten, still less efficient. Dylan Sampson, right? He had a huge amount of carries, so I don't take that too seriously. But even a name like Ollie Gordon, again, Bhayshul Tuten is a very efficient running back, doing the most with every touch that he gets. His breakaway percentage is better than any of those names. His elusive rating is better than any of those names. Now, he's second in avoided tackles. Dylan Sampson is also very good at breaking tackles. In fact, Dylan Sampson, I kind of view Bhayshul Tuten as the discount Dylan Sampson in this class. Everyone loves Dylan Sampson, and rightfully so, but there should be more love for Bhayshul Tuten. And if you look at yards after contact per attempt, he is in a category of his own when you compare him to the Judkins, the Sampson, the Gordon. And again, that is per attempt. Per attempt, he is doing more after contact than the rest of those names that a lot of people love in this class. And look, if you love diving into the upcoming rookie class, you want to know these deep sleepers that a lot of people aren't really highlighting right now. Well, we just released version 2 of our rookie report. Here is Bhayshul Tuten's profile, just as an example. Things that we talked about today, right? And, for example, you can see there in the pro comp section, I talked about Jaylen Warren as his pro comp. Honestly, that feels like a low ceiling comp for him, but I can't help but see Jaylen Warren when I watch his game. Like, floor comp is a little Khalil Herbert. Khalil Herbert was a nightmare to bring down, his rookie contract there in Chicago. So put Bhayshul Tuten in the right situation. I think he could produce, For example, put Bhayshul Tuten in Kamani Vidal's shoes last year. I think he could have definitely produced for the Chargers. But if you want to get access to that rookie report, you can become a member with the promo code LAND on the Flock site. Just have to be a Mother Flocker member. Let's get on to our second player here, which is Kyle Williams. Look, the reality is, like, sleepers today, guys, I feel like with Twitter and all these different resources, it's really hard to have a true sleeper in a Dynasty rookie draft anymore. Everybody knows every name. But I think this is one name where I have not heard anybody in the industry talk about, and I am so excited to finally tell you about him, Kyle Williams, all right, out of Washington State. All right, so we've got a guy who is 5'10", 182 pounds. That is kind of ideal for today's NFL wide receiver. We've got a player who originally was playing quarterback in high school, but then switched to wide receiver his senior season of high school. Didn't get, a high level of recruit, but has played really well for Washington State. He has a 21st best receiving grade for PFF, a high yards per route run, but where he really shines is his yak threat. He is a tier 1 yak threat. Extremely difficult to bring down in the open field. That combo of burst and speed and break tackle ability and elusiveness is special. I mean, he actually was 8th in yak per reception, 8th best in the nation. Tons of versatility. I mean, seriously, go watch this guy's film. You can line him up wherever you want. You want to put him down the field to stretch the defense? Do it. You want to put him in the screen game? You want to put him in the wildcat? You want to give him an end around? He can be extremely versatile for your team. 74% of his snaps were out wide. 25% of his snaps were in the slot. He's got game-changing juice. You go watch his film, you'll see pretty much once per game, he is just ridiculously fluid and juicy in the open field. That sounds really weird, actually, now that I'm saying that. I love his release off the line of scrimmage. Great awareness to exploit zone coverage, which not everybody has. Like, he can sit in that pocket and get real comfy waiting for his quarterback to get him the ball. That's high IQ. Showcases those late hands, right? So you see the ball coming over your shoulder, but you got the DB right on you. In high school, maybe you're like, okay, let me get this, right? Let me put my hands out. No, you don't want that defender to know the ball's coming your way. He's got those late hands, right? If that makes sense. We love to see that. Great concentration on deep balls. Had a 62.5% contested catch rate. He caught 10 out of 16 contested catches. Now look, he's not a perfect prospect. That's why he's in the sleepers video. He's a late breakout. He's not polished as a route runner just yet. His route tree is relatively simplified. He had a ton of manufactured touches, but I think he could be a very fun developmental wide receiver. The ceiling, I see some Jaden Reed to his game. Some Demarcus Robinson maybe, as a lower floor ceiling. At minimum, he's giving you what De'Ami Brown, Ray McLeod is giving their offenses, but I think he could be a perfect fit. And again, I'll show you his profile, another little preview of our rookie report, where I think he'd be the perfect fit for the Commanders, right? That number 2 development upside. Maybe they bring back De'Ami Brown and Kyle Williams is this fun kind of what if project. The Rams would be perfect. The Raiders would be perfect as a secondary option. All right, moving on. Let's talk about R.J. Harvey. Now, R.J. Harvey and Bhayshul Tuten, they're different players, but they kind of, the reasons I love them are kind of similar, right? R.J. Harvey, 5'8", 207 pounds. So another guy at 5'8", not the tallest prospect, low center of gravity type of player. But at the Senior Bowl, he did weigh in at 207 pounds. We love to see that. At least there is some beef on those. I was going to say cakes. What the hell is wrong with me today? But here's the deal. 6.8 yards per attempt, 9th best in the nation, 14th best run grade, has reliable hands, and is a legitimate receiving threat out of the backfield. I mean, this isn't just like a check down. Like, he wasn't just there as like, I'm available, throw it to me. No, he's running legitimate routes out of the backfield. He can be an integral part of a passing attack in the NFL, has that quick feet plus vision combo. So the feet are there, they're moving, but the vision is also telling him, I know exactly how to exploit the offensive line here. And again, just like Bhayshul Tuten, he is surprisingly great through contact, has this slithery ability to evade arm tackles, more difficult to bring down than you might think based off his size and frame. So if you look at missed tackles forced, he forced 69 missed tackles, which was 8th highest in the nation. And again, we go back to our lemons to lemonade report. I mean, was RJ Harvey making lemonade? All right, did he just have the lemons? All right, did he get the lemons and say, you know what, this is fine, I like lemons, let me put some on my pad thai? Or did he say, what could I do with this lemon? Could I make some money? No, he's making his own lemonade stand. He was 5th out of 25 running backs that we tracked on the all lemons to lemonade team. 0.30 missed tackles forced per attempt, extremely elusive in the open field. And again, at least at the Senior Bowl, we had a reliable weight at 207 pounds. Now, here's the difficult part with both Tuten and RJ Harvey, which I didn't mention with Tuten. They both have big fumble concerns, all right? I mean, these guys have a ton of fumbles since they became starters at their colleges. For RJ Harvey, obviously at UCF. For Bhayshul Tuten, obviously at Virginia Tech. The fumble concerns are a major red flag, so that might be a reason why they fall in their classes. But last thing I'll say about RJ Harvey here before we go onto some comparisons is he set a UCF record with 5 consecutive 100-plus rushing yard games in the year 2023. And then if we look at him compared to the rest of the class, let's do that same exact practice that we did with Bhayshul Tuten earlier. Let's compare RJ Harvey to the Quinshon Judkins, the Dylan Sampsons, the Ollie Gordons. Because again, I love Dylan Sampson, but everybody's already talking about Dylan Sampson. Let's get people to start talking about RJ Harvey a little bit more. He led that group in rushing yards and yards per attempt. Yes, I know it's the Big 12, right? Some of these guys are in better conferences. He led them in elusive rating, and he led them in yards after contact per attempt. So again, a guy who's constantly doing more with less. My comps for him, I think he's a Walmart Kyron Williams. I'm not saying he'll be that good of a player, but he has that type of body, that type of frame, that kind of like decisiveness to say, you're not going to stop me. I don't care if you think I'm undersized. And his floor comp is more of like a Boston Scott. And I was so excited to see one of my favorite NFL draft analysts put him in their top 100 big board. Dane Brugler of The Athletic had him 95th out of 100. And here's what he wrote. He said, though he doesn't have the power to drive through the first level, Harvey is a dynamic make-you-miss runner using his tempo and burst, 54 carries of 10-plus yards in 2024. Those skills made him a frequent visitor to the end zone. UCF record 48 career touchdowns. So I was so thrilled to see that one of my favorites in the industry also saw what I saw in RJ Harvey. And you can see, again, my profile here for him in our rookie report. I think he'd be a great fit in Washington if they wanted to replace Austin Eckler long-term. The Patriots could use a change of pace back like this. The Giants, if you want to compliment Tyrone Tracy. Before I get into the next player, if you want a customized game plan for your Dynasty offseason, get the playbook by becoming a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. Not only do you get that playbook and a live review, but you also get our 2025 rookie report, which is consistently updating. Check out the pinned comment, and let's get back to the video. All right, moving on. Our 4th player here, Savion Williams. I love me some Savion Williams. Don't know what he's going to be in the NFL. We have to acknowledge that. Like, he's such a unique player. In fact, there is only one Savion Williams in the entire draft class, okay? By far, easily the most unique wide receiver prospect we have in this class. At 6'5", 225 pounds, he was on Bruce Feldman's freak list. And you can see Bruce Feldman also talks about how this year he squatted 600 pounds, bench pressed 355, power clean 350, and also clocked in on GPS at 22.5 miles per hour. The guy is an absolute freak. You'd build him in a lab if you're looking for the best athletes, right? If we're going to go face the aliens on a different planet and we're going to play NFL, Savion Williams is the type of athlete you're trying to send over there to face the aliens, okay? Iguodala, if you know, you know. Anyway, look, very interesting player. He is that versatile Swiss Army knife for TCU. Not only contributed as a wide receiver, but also used as a running back, used in different formations, including the Wildcat very often. He had 60 receptions, 600 yards, 6 touchdowns, but he also had 322 rushing yards on 51 attempts, 6.3 yards per attempt, and 6 rushing touchdowns. So much versatility to his game. You can't help but see some Cordero Patterson if we want to talk about a ceiling comp. The ceiling comp is Cordero Patterson, who, if he was coming out in the NFL today, would have been used, I think, a lot more frequently. Lightning quick release, A1 quickness and long run speed. Again, clocked in at 22.5 miles per hour at 6'5". Like, this is ridiculous. He's an X-Factor yak threat. But the issues are, there's a lot of red flags, right? There's little to no nuance in his route running. He's extremely inconsistent with his ball skills, and he's a 5th-year senior breakout. So I can see why there are some concerns. I mean, the floor comp, I told you, you know, Cordero Patterson's the ceiling comp, but the floor comp is Laviska Shenault. That's as bad as it could get, right? But Savion Williams, I think he'd be a really good fit with the Broncos. You know, Sean Payton keeps talking about how he wants his Joker. Well, what if it's in the size of a 6'5" monster freak athlete? I think he'd be great with the Dolphins with that speed, and the Steelers just desperately need some sort of, you know, explosive player like that. All right, the fifth player we're going to talk about today, not really a sleeper anymore because this guy dominated the Senior Bowl, probably the tight end standout at the Senior Bowl. That is Elijah Arroyo, but I do want to show him some love, and I'll explain because I wanted to tell you guys how actually high I am on him in this class because I'm very high on him. The Senior Bowl really made me dive into his film, and I'll tell you this, he is ridiculously smooth on his routes. If he's moving left to right or right to left, he can do it in a flash, and he does it with grace. You know, there's not like this clunky movements that you see with these tight ends. No, there's grace, there's decisiveness, there's plant the foot and go. He can beat you on a multitude of routes. He's a ridiculous yak threat. I envision an offense scheming him up the way that the Dolphins schemed up Jonnu Smith this last season. That's how I envision you using him. He can be a true difference maker after the catch. He actually ranked first amongst tight ends in yak per reception. You know, some of that was on these deep broken plays, but still, he was fantastic after the catch. Great, you know, game-changing suddenness and speed combo. Moves as good as any other tight end in this class, and he's got ideal size. I think I can't help but see Zach Ertz when I watch his game. Like, that is the ceiling comp. It's not the guaranteed outcome, but there's a ton of Zach Ertz. There's a ton of David Njoku. Can't help but see it with the Miami helmet. And then I think his ceiling comp is like what Jonnu Smith was to the NFL before 2024. Like this guy where, okay, you give him a couple targets per game. Like that is the floor comp. He can be dynamic. He can be explosive, but you need the right offensive coordinator to really unleash his game. And also great to see that he made Dane Brugler's athletic top 100 big board as well. Here's what Dane had to say about him. He said, an awesome athlete at 251 pounds, Arroyo gets in and out of his breaks with efficiency and speed to consistently create separation, making him a threat to score anytime he touches the ball. He will need to prove himself through contact in the pass game at the next level where he won't be given as much space to operate, which is true. One thing that is a question mark is we don't really know exactly how he is catching through contact. I mean, he only had 5 contested catch opportunities this entire season, but I wanted to highlight him. I know we all know him, but this is how high I am on him. If you look at my Superflex big board right now in our rookie report, you can see he is ranked 17th. I have him right in the same category as a Matthew Golden. He's right behind those quarterbacks in Cam Moore, Shedeur Sanders. Again, it's a big board, right? Big board doesn't account for draft capital yet, but really big fan of Elijah Arroyo. I would not be surprised if he's an early second round pick in your rookie drafts. Don't sleep on him. I'll show you his rookie draft guide profile here if you want to have a look at it and pause. Again, little preview of that. And I'll end on an honorable mention. I released my rookie running back rankings about a week ago, and there was one name that was consistently talked about. All right. Where's LeKent Allen? Where the hell is LeKent Allen? All right. LeKent Allen is top 10 in my opinion. You got to watch his film. No LeKent Allen? LeKent's a sleeper. Todd McShay has him top 5, right? I mean, my entire comment section is just completely full of people talking about LeKent Allen. I'll tell you right now, I have not scouted him just yet, but if you're looking for a consensus rookie sleeper, everyone's rookie sleeper is LeKent Allen right now. I'm excited to dive into his film. What I will say, if you look at his stats, I don't love that he averaged 4.3 and 4.5 yards per carry as a starter in the last 2 seasons at Syracuse and the ACC. I don't love that. But if you look at his receiving profile, he had 64 catches, 21 yards, and 4 touchdowns this season. So clearly people love him because of his receiving upside. I'm excited to dive into him more. His profile will be in V3 of our rookie report coming out after the combine. So I'm excited to scout him, but that is your consensus sleeper amongst the community to put his name out there. I appreciate y'all watching the video. Do me a favor, hit that like button and show some love. Subscribe if you like the content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All love. Now that those idiots are done talking, who needs some rankings?
Hell yeah, I need some rankings.
Then use promo code LAND, LAND, for 30% off any membership at flockfantasy.com.
Oh.